General theme is how does it feel to be a hypocrite?
Right. Well, he sounds like a royal dirtbag.
I was wrong about something.
Magnificent! Magnificent! Magnificent!
If we can be with ourselves, if we can understand ourselves, we can love.
It's not my fault nobody can understand what you're saying.
Let's go while we're young.
3, 2, 1. Just introduce yourself and tell me what you ate for breakfast.
Hey, good morning. As per usual, I did not have breakfast yet, but my name is Matt. Thanks for being here. Morning hair, messy hair, roll out of bed, had conversations. Today is Be Hope. I think you can see that on the screen there. It says you can. That's the hashtag in the comments. If you've won before, yes, please do it again. Make sure that you go ahead and get in there and Be Hope in the comments. It can be in a sentence. It can be in all kinds of different things and whatever else. But, it's an honor to be here with you who want to learn and grow and understand people and each other and all those things. And there's some that just want to drain and take away, and that's just all that they do. It's frustrating for sure. And I know that you experience that. So what I want to do here is I want to talk about this quote. I believe I first posted it way back in probably back in 2017, 2018 or something like that. I know I posted it in 2020, but in every encounter, we either give life or we drain it. Let me say that again. In every encounter, we either give life or we drain it. There is no neutral exchange. I want to be the type of person that gives life. I know that there's encounters that I've had. I'm sure that I will have again in the future that I have drained from someone. I want to try to give them life. I want to try and at least give them a sense that I'm trying to understand their perspective and things like that, most definitely. But the reality is that there are going to be times, there will be times in the future that I will have exchanges with people and it's going to drain from them. And they're not going to like that. It's uncomfortable and whatever else. But the reason that I wanted to talk about this today, and I think that it's so important, I've seen some stats that came out, probably a month ago or so is when I first started seeing them, and I was digging into them a little bit more, and it's how people spent their time on an average in 2024. And this is, I'm not going to go through a lot of stats, but here's why I think that quote, and I'll come back to it in a second, is very important. We apparently, as Americans, spend an average of 60% of our time online in some fashion. Now, that's not specifically according to the information that I have, and I'm trying to still verify where this information came from because someone had sent it to me, but that we spend 60% of our time online, almost 14% of our time with friends, about 8.5% of our time with coworkers, about 5% of our time with or at the bar / restaurant. They lump those into the same thing because, quite frankly, a lot of them are about the same thing. We spend about 4.5% of our time with family, about 2% of our time at church, about 1.2% of our time with neighbors, and about 0.75% of our time learning. And that's powerful, isn't it? That's very specific learning, like college and school and things like that. Very specific. I'm not saying that learning hobbies or things like that that does not appear to be lumped into that category. So with those numbers, these encounters that we have are online. And the encounter that we have, a lot of times we don't have that exchange. We look at something, someone makes some bold statement, because what do bold statements do? They get attention, right? I've talked about that before, about being just hyperbolic about everything, and that's the way to grow. And also that you attack an enemy, that's also a way to grow online. And we're humans, and we like that kind of feeling. And we, there's a dopamine rush. There's a whole thing. I actually did a whole podcast on that a long time ago, but there's the whole dopamine rush on some of those types of things that we get from doing those things. And so the encounter is always draining with certain people, because we will see their hyperbole that they post. We know that half of it is probably garbage, but yet that drains us. And we have these things that are just simply encounters with those people, I suppose, that we now have a completely negative impression on them, because the encounter is never going to be two ways. Whereas obviously before, we used to spend more time in person with people. And so when we have those encounters, what I'm really saying here is that it is really important, if you're truly concerned, reach out to them. If you don't want to comment on their post or whatever, reach out to them, try and, have coffee with them, or a phone call, or whatever else that might look like, so that you can understand maybe their perspective and things. And so that you can hopefully have a better exchange with them. Certainly if you care about them in any kind of fashion, that's a good way to do that. I'm going to put this back on the screen here real quick too. We have Be Hope. This is, I know you can't see this very well. This is the tumbler we're going to give away today. This is a sunflower, and hope is on the stem. So a sunflower and hope on the stem that I laser right here at home. So anyway, that's the giveaway for today. So make sure that if you haven't done it yet, Be Hope in the comments, and that way we can get you in the drawing here coming up in a minute. But it's concerning to me, the kinds of things that are posted, and that when we just simply have those things that are draining. And if you know me, there's a lot of people that are watching, have watched, do watch on a fairly regular basis, that absolutely have decided at this point in their life, they're just, they won't return my messages. They they go and gossip about the things that I do and talk about, laugh about the things that I do and talk about. And I'm like, if you're making this fun of me, I mean, share it with me. I love making fun of myself and things like that. So it's just part of life, and I think that's important. But if you're one of them, I do very diligently try to get in contact with people if I don't understand something. I have sent, over the years, I've sent probably 1,500 specific individual emails to, or messages, or whatever else, to communicate with them. I get a very, very small percentage of response, and that's typically because the person is just, they want to push through their agenda. They don't want to be questioned on their agenda. And I like to ask questions. And sometimes asking questions have unintentional consequences, meaning that someone has to really think about what that exchange is with you, and that they may have to question themselves then on what their agendas are, and whether what they are doing and seeing is actually accurate and true. And it goes for any political party. It goes for any religious thing or anything that it's so easy just to get up on that soapbox, and all that we do is just holler and scream our message, but aren't allowed to ask questions. I think that's something that's extremely important, that, ask me questions about why I think this way or why someone thinks that way. And if they're willing to communicate that with you, I think I've been very, very open about, what Shiny is, what Shiny brand is, and things like that. And that's sort of my point. But as we ended here, in every encounter, we either give life or we drain it. There is no neutral exchange. I believe it's attributed to Brennan Manning is who that quote is. And so when you're encountering somebody, I encourage you to try to give life. I encourage you to try to be hope as that hashtag today. So let's see if we can get this thing moving here. And if we are able to get the drawing going, 5 people again today. Thank you. I know that not everybody can be here live. Yay! Congratulations. So I'll send you a message here in just a minute, and we will get this headed your way. So thanks so much, everybody. We will see you tomorrow's Friday already. I can't believe it. So we'll see you tomorrow morning at 6:30. Thanks for joining me.
You know what I just saw?
Who is this guy?
I call myself Podcast because of my podcast.
I have exorcised the demons. This house is clear.
So it's done.
It's done.